So I've talked to Larry and Lucy Page from Google and also from Eustatia Island, and what we're going to do is something which we've done in one or two other countries, is to make small loans available to young people to help them get businesses going, and then as they repay those loans, then lend them out to other people. So it'll be an ever revolving process. So we won't actually expect to get the loans back, and we're hoping that process we can get quite a few new businesses going in the BVI, and we'll take preference on giving loans to people who've got sort of new ideas for the BVI over people who are duplicating something that's already happening in the BVI. So we're initially putting up a couple of $100,000, and then we'll lend that out, and then but we're willing to increase that, as time goes on. I think the a lot of people who are setting up the business for the first time, just don't know the basics, and that's where I think having a mentor to help is so important, and so working out I mean, I don't know the difference between gross and net, and just some of the basics. So I think that if we can get some really good, I mean, there are lots of people living in the BVI who, quite a few people who've retired to the BVI have had a lot of business experience, who I'm sure that we can find to so like adopt an entrepreneur and help them, in running quite a lot of businesses myself, and starting off as an entrepreneur, I've learnt, the importance of people, the importance of motivating people well, and looking for the best in people. Small loans can go a long way. I mean, I was in Africa recently. A woman asked me if it was possible, if she could borrow $600 to buy a sewing machine, and she promised to repay it within 3 months. I lent her the $600. 3 months later, I was back in Africa again. I was in the village. They brought this beautiful robe which they put on me, and four women who'd been employed as a result of the lady buying the sewing machine had jobs, and the lady wasn't there, and I asked where she was, and she was down in the village selling her products. So 5 jobs have been created from a very small amount of money. So I think it doesn't have, and they gave me my $600 back. So small, small loans can make a big difference. Sometimes you need bigger loans. I mean, like obviously glass bottom boat you're not going to buy for $300. So sometimes it can be bigger loans. But we certainly the micro loan lending has transformed Bangladesh, parts of Africa, and other places, and it's often quite small loans that can actually get somebody going. The principal difference between what we're doing and what a bank is doing is we're not interested in making any profit out of it ourselves. What we're going to be doing is recycling, all the money and plus the interest into lending to other people, but we will keep it, we'll keep it simple, but we'll make sure it's properly done. We need to make it very clear that there's going to be, a lot of people who there won't be enough money for everybody. So we're going to be looking for the the projects that are most likely to succeed. But we are expecting to see projects that where people have been turned down by banks. So we're not, we're looking for people who are having problems getting money from banks. And we're not trying to duplicate what the banks are doing. And as I said, we're looking for projects that, if possible, add something to the BVI that are not just duplicating some other work that's already been done in the BVI.
Well, a few years ago, I started a project by the Conservation Fisheries. I was helping them out on a project, and it was concerning marine. So being there naturally, I just fell in love with it. And, the passion for that, was destined for me to have this. Because the glass bottom boat has been 13 years, just seeing it for the first time 13 years ago as a child, as a youth. It's like unbelievable. It's the first boat with a glass. I didn't have any money to go on it, so I was sad I didn't get to go on it. But I never did give up on it. I keep pushing it, and after 13 years and few months, it all unfolded, and I'm very excited about that. Basically, I take people out on dry reef tours for those who don't want to get wet, and let them see the beauty of the underwater world up close and personal, yet being dry. The challenges I found was with the bank, yes, because I didn't have everything the bank was requiring for in terms of a percent of the money or land in house, because today the bank doesn't want just land anymore. They want land with a house on it. And one of the greatest thing anyone can fear by the end of the day is to go home and realize that your house now belongs to a bank. So not necessarily family wouldn't support it, just that the greatest thing anyone could fear is losing their home. So therefore I was not qualified for it. And when it comes to that, I almost thought like all ends was meet. I had everything the bank required me to get: a business proposal, business plan, a trade license, recommendations from numerous resorts, but still I didn't have a house or that amount of collateral to get me started. Man, I'd like to say, first of all, not necessarily, this is a quote I like to use from Oprah a lot. When you feel all odds are against you, keep in mind that an airplane have to take off against the wind. So not necessarily because you're not getting support of a family relative or the government or individual, that doesn't mean you can't take off. It might be a little difficult, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can't take off. And if you go to know if you're gonna make it, you must face challenges. If you don't make challenges, then it's not destined you're gonna make it in anything. Even with the sacrifice Richard made with Virgin towards buying the airlines, he had to go through that to go, and now today they stand pretty strong.
He's doing fantastic. I mean, he's repaying on time, and I mean he also knows that the money's going to that by him working hard, that's going to enable another young entrepreneur in the BVI to get the money that he repays will be lent to somebody else. And I think that, and then what I haven't talked to Gumption about is that once he has repaid, when that money is then lent to somebody else, which he can help choose somebody else, he can then help mentor the next person. But it's I mean it is a business. It's business. It's tough, and it's up to us to have some flexibility if he has difficulties. But I know Gumption well, that he'll do it from his heart. He'll do everything he can and give it 100%.